Hey, what's up, guys? It's Brian, and welcome to our Workbench Challenge video. This was a challenge that was presented to the community by Mr. Brian over at Got Fuel. He does an exceptional job with painting and stuff. I've seen his work personally at the Acme show and got to meet him and shake his hand. Very cool guy. So, Brian, first of all, thank you very much for this awesome challenge. It's kind of a fun thing to do when we get to talk about our workbenches. So here's the workbench. First off, we'll start off with this. This guy here is our little tripod dealie that we use for when we do finals, or if I'm doing, steady cam and we're shooting down kind of like this or something like that. This is the little dealie we use. And you'll notice this is discolored right here. That's because we have that marked. This is the leg that broke off and we glued back in place. So we will try to make sure that that one gets handled gently. But I mean, I don't know, I think it's like $11 on Amazon. It's got all these little satellite balls here that's supposed to have some non-slip stuff around there, and you can bend this and shape this however you need this. My finding nowadays is that I just pull this out to do some Steadicam filming, and that's it. I don't I mean, I've taken this with me on trips and stuff like that, but I don't need to have this like wrapped around a telephone pole or flagpole or whatever. So I find that this is actually kind of annoying because I just want to do tripod and go, and sometimes this will get kind of gnarly and bent out of shape, and then it actually takes longer to get this thing figured out than it does to actually film a video, I tell you what. So when we're done with it, it just gets collapsed like that in a general fashion, and then down below we have a little cleat we just hang it on, and that's where he lives. This is just a little filing cabinet thing that we got from IKEA. It comes in a flat pack, and you actually have to bend stuff and everything. So it's a little bit of a challenge to build, but it was I found it fun. And then we have like all of our knives and pens and markers and lighters, and this is dead knife blades. You can barely see them through there. So it's the only red pill jar I have on hand, and I figured that was perfect for dead knife blades. And then magnifying glass, which seems to be coming in more and more handy these days. And then, oh yeah, this is one of those This is one of those glues that's cures by UV light. I need to get a refill for that. But so all down through there is just all sorts of stuff. I have drills and drill bits and stuff like that, sanding utensils, and then more pill jars, and at the very bottom is sort of a catch-all of anything that doesn't really have a category that goes in the rest of this. This is my art box. We'll show you what goes on with that in just a second. That doesn't normally live there, but for the purposes of this video, it's got a home right there. But when we're building, we're doing our building stuff here, sanding, cutting, gluing, shaping, all that kind of stuff. A little bit of brush painting, and then when we're cutting and sanding and stuff like that, and things are getting ready to go into the little tub for washing, goes right here, and we have the tub sitting right there with all the parts from our 44 getting ready to go. And the toothbrush is an old toothbrush that we just cleaned up really well and sort of purposed as the cleaning utensil, so it always lives with this tub right here. And then the project of the day, the box gets set right there, so we can pull parts out of there or toss them back in there as we need to. I kind of like having like a workflow type of thing with my work area. I think that's a little more my type of speed. It's kind of funny how I'm right-handed. The door's on my left side, and stuff starts on the right, and it ends up going to the left. So it's just, I know it's kind of a Henry Ford thing going on there. This is a little wooden work case. We got this from our friend James. He did a swap with him. I had a toolbox that I wasn't able to use, so he really liked it. We did a swap. He gave me this. I found these decals on eBay. I don't know, I think I just Googled or just did a search on eBay for model company decals or something like that. And these stickers came up, and I bought like a bunch of them. Like, I think I got a lot of these for, I don't know, $10, something like that. Anyway, nice little decor for this type of thing, but I like the fact that this has its little finger hole already pre-cut in there. So we got all of our tapes. And then this one down here is a big catch-all for whatever I need on the desk, but it's not easily to get to because stuff does end up kind of migrating to this area for you know, low-end storage type of stuff. We have over here in this one all of our bits of assorted wires and solder and stuff like that for doing headers and whatever. And then art supplies are up here for doing weathering, and then up above that is just stuff I use a little more often. Like this guy here is actually a case for holding your glasses, and I have in here it's magnetically closed, so it's got a little bit of a difficulty to open, but I've got cleaning cloths in there, so those go with us to show so we can polish up a model if we need to. And because this is really cool shape, like Toblerones, it's really helpful when we have a model and we're doing maybe some decaling down the side or adding on some detail on the side or something like that. Having this sit at an angle like that, it's just perfect. And then also, because of the shape of this, you hook the rear wheels over the back of there so you can work on the back. And same thing with the front if you need to, from gluing in the headlight bezels. Very useful for that kind of stuff. And it's rigid sided, so it's really cool to take with us to a show, so we can toss a couple of tools in there along with the cleaning cloths just in case we need to repair something. So that's a very useful glasses case. And then this is a 3D printed stand that my nephew made for us. We sent him measurements for the Microsol bottles, and he got that. Look at this. He got that perfect. It actually slides down there slowly because it's displacing the air. He got that perfect, as you would think from an engineering student in college. But the only problem is that because he's an engineering student in college and highly ADD, he forgot that I also have an order of, I don't know, like 20 of those things. So you know, girlfriends and all that kind of stuff get in the way of doing things that Uncle Brian asks you to do and also pays you to do. But you know, that's another video. And then our Dremel, we got our Dremel up there, just always on the ready, charging away. And then above that we have a small Hot Wheel collection. I do have a larger collection tucked away. These are the ones that aren't opened and probably will not be opened. But some cool stuff that we found recently. I love collecting the Gulf oil stuff. I think I have just about all of those right now. Anything rare and odd like the GT40 Mark IV. I love that. And then, of course, we have Batmobiles and Thundercats, James Bond, Gas Monkey Garage, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the best cartoon of all, Scooby-Doo. And then as we go on back down there, you'll see there's a Knight Rider, Ghostbuster, Back to the Future, and then I think a Subaru in the far corner there. And some inspiration artwork here. We found this online. I believe this is actually from a t-shirt. But I love the fact that it's the Flintmobile done up as a hot rod, which kind of gives me kind of inspires me to think that anything can be a hot rod, even something that was around in the caveman days, you know, type of thing. And then here's our little computer where we do our we watch our videos and comment on videos and stuff like that. So this is our communication station. And then when we film a video, we just close this, pull this out in front of it, get the camera angle just right and everything. I have it on the wide lens right now. But get the camera angle just right and everything, get up the tripod, and go to town doing finals. This is just an old pillowcase that doesn't match the decor we have nowadays, so it's going to be replaced sometime soon with something a little bit less linen closetly, I guess is the best way to say it. We're still kind of hashing that out a little bit. I've tried something black in the background. That messes up our lighting features, especially if we're filming something that's white. We've done a white background, again, that we have to do a white balance and all that kind of stuff, and this little thing here does not white balance very well. So the purchase of an actual filming camera is in negotiations, I should say. Over to the side we have this little guy. Okay, these are little medicine cup things, right? You can get these 500 for like pennies over at the Amazon. And this thing is actually the lid off of a coffee creamer bottle that we never liked because I think it was like vegan or something. We bought it by accident, some vegan coffee creamer. And it turns out that these medicine cups fit in there perfectly, so we don't spill or anything like that. So that's like a lucky find. Over on this side, we have a little Lazy Susan. We have all of our glues, our Bob Smith Industry super glues, our canopy glue, some more Bob Smith Industry epoxies, our what is this stuff? Oh, the Tester's window maker stuff. And then we have some paint thinner, a little jar of pipettes, and then over here is, well, my shop coffee mug with Harbor Freight knives. These things, every time I go to Harbor Freight, I buy a couple of these guys for like 99 cents right next to the register. And here's where BG lives. Little BG lives up there. That's where he hangs out. And then one of these, here you go. Here's a wax pencil. These things are awesome for using if you do photo etch, or like putting the headlight lenses into bezels. These things are perfect for that. And you can see by the length of this thing, it's going to have a very long life here in the shop. So down below is we have little pots of little pill jars full of styrene cutoff pieces. Up top we have larger pieces of styrene that are handy. And then we also have a drawer and a toolbox we'll show you in a second that's got the bags of styrene. But I mean, that's all stuff that I've collected over the years. And my philosophy has always been, when you get out on your own and you start making your own place to live for the very first time, the two things that you need to buy are nuts and screws and bolts, and odd pieces of styrene for the hobby room. As life goes on, that stuff just seems to collect from other projects and stuff, and you don't need to worry about it. But it always seems funny to have to go out and start your life by buying screws and nuts and bolts. Oh, then also we have a koozie here from Papa Dan, and then down here are these are the itty bitty Q-tips. We're going to change lenses. There we go. Itty bitty Q-tips that come to a spear point. These are really good for getting into crooks and nannies. And then here we have the Q-tips, and then the micro brushes, very handy. And then here's our drinks station. This is where we keep our jar of water, our glass of water. I try to move this as far away as I can from the area here, because the styrene powder, dust from styrene and stuff like that, will end up in your drink. So if I don't have a covered drink here, I try to put it off to the side as far as I can. Now, the philosophy of the desk is pretty much, I absolutely hate, with a passion, having to move something out of the way to get to something else. Especially if I'm holding something with one hand while it's gluing and I need a clamp or something like that. So I don't have any drawers on this bit here, but I do have a second level with drawers. And we have in these bottle caps for mixing paint and holding glue. Next drawer down is clamps and stir sticks, like that. And then the next one down from that, which magically slides right over the top of the cup, is Tamiya sanding sponges. So I have those up there. I keep those in a plastic tub because sometimes those get put away wet. You know, they're not 100% dry yet. So I keep them in a plastic tub so that they don't rot the wood or whatever, like I do in the other storage areas that I have. So behind the glass, behind the drinks department, we have things that get very rarely used, which is a jar of Zep, which is used for stripping chrome parts and enamel paints, and then a little tub back there that we use to put water and soap in for doing some wet sanding and jazz. And then to the side, this is something I stumbled across. This actually is an acrylic case for holding Johnny Lightning cars. You know, something you can put on the wall or something like that. And the actual case door had been destroyed somehow. So I noticed that these Tamiya jars fit in here perfectly. So now I have my collection of Tamiya stuff here. And the reason why this is so handy is because every other Thursday night we host build night here at the house, and a couple of friends come over and we sit at the dining. Oh, and my nephew Jacob actually comes over now. We all sit at the dining room table and talk about current events and build models and talk about YouTube stuff. And I just take this out, set it on the table. Anybody can use what they need out of here. So we got Mark Fit and all that kind of stuff. We got the paint retarder, we got cements, and then panel liner stuff. And then along with that goes this guy, which has a jug of rubbing alcohol in there for brush cleaning. And then we have all sorts of pens and pencils and Sharpies. And then one of our favorite tools here, which is, we'll get a different lens here. Sorry, there we go. The machinist ruler. These things are so handy. R.D. Mathis Company, Long Beach, California. Ooh, evaporation sources. It's the first time I've ever read that. That's awesome. We've got conversions on the backside too. These are so handy. Multiple uses. And then what's in here is actually pill jars that have been hot glued to the base. And that keeps these jars from dancing around, falling around, stuff like that. So if I want to, I can pry those out and rearrange if I need to, whatever. But for the most part, this is kind of how it's evolved. So we got brushes back here. We got sanding sticks there. We have some files, some of our jeweler files and stuff tucked back there. And then I think something just fell through. Oops. But yeah, this guy here has a little carrying handle, and we just grab this and take this out to the dining room table whenever we want to do work out there. Oh yes, I have my shop card logo on an actual mouse pad. I thought that was kind of fun. I got that offer at was it Vistaprint? You can put your logo on anything there. So I got the coffee mug and this guy from Vistaprint. I thought that was a lot of fun. Paint. Let's move on to paint. So that little tub there came in this rack. It was like some sort of like household cleaning thing, or maybe a bathroom cart. I don't remember what it was, but we got it at Target. I think you can still get them at Target. It's got wheels on it, so it glides around. And then since I'm using the tub for other things, I decided I'd use this for the paint. And we just cut some pieces of some plywood and stuck it down there as a base, because it just has a wire rack and these things would fall over real easy. So I have all of my X paints up here and my XF paints down there. These are all Tamiya. And then down below is another tub that we had pilfered from a different rack we have in the house. And in here we have pill jars glued down, but they're holding, what's the best way to say that? Painting, parts holding paraphernalia for painting. There we go. And in that little plastic tub there is a big wad of poster putty, some blue tack stuff. Some of this stuff, I have some on the desk right now. This stuff is great for holding parts to popsicle sticks and whatever for when we go painting. And also this is great for if you need to do some detail work on a part. You just mash that down there, stick your part in there, do the detail painting with it, and then you can just gingerly scoop it up and set it off to the side while it dries. So that's a very handy thing. And then all these bits that hold parts, they actually go into this guy, which is just a floral based thing that we get at the floral department at the local craft store. And you'll notice that there's all different types of shapes of holes in here, and that's because we have all different shapes of things that we stick in it. So all the alligator clips and stuff like that, those are on skewers. We got some popsicle sticks and stuff there. You can see, you can probably make out where those go. And then along the radial border, we actually have the spring clips. These guys, making the old man noise. These guys here, those guys get stuck in the ends like this. There we go, like that, when they're holding apart. So I have a whole ring of those, and then a forest of parts, and we've seen this on other videos, but the forest of parts sticking straight up out of there and all that stuff. So every time we paint something, it gets shoved in here, so that we know we painted it and we don't miss something. All right, so let's move on to toolboxes. And so this is something I inherited from my father. I remember the Christmas my mom actually gave this to him, and I got to help him build it. Well, I held the tools while he built it. That's basically what happened. But I refer to this as the Toolbox of Fame. So every time I get a sticker from somebody in the community, it goes up here on the Toolbox of Fame. Let's see, we got Iceman Collectibles. We've got Jeff's Model Garage. We've got NYS Modeling. My buddy James over at Scale Model Experiment. And then Mooger's Models, got that from him there. And then another Joe Hand decal. I thought that was kind of cool to put that on there. Oh, and the best sci-fi TV series of all time, Firefly. Yeah, so everything in there. I mean, this is just, we actually have this properly labeled. We have screwdrivers, cutting and pinching, miscellaneous stuff. Down below we have decals. So these are decals that are fresh off of being used. So like Just got done building a kit. I have leftover decals that go in here, and if I don't need them right away after a little while, they go into a deeper storage facility. And then we have styrene bits, and this is what I was talking about earlier. We have bits of styrene card. If you're just getting into the world of modeling, sometimes at hobby shops they will have a bag that's just basically labeled odds and ends, and it's just all sorts of thicknesses of styrene card, tubing, stuff like that, just kind of tossed in here. And this is literally the first thing I bought when I started model building for styrene, and as you can see, I'm still using it. So it's been a little while. I also have some of our tubing. Oh, I have those rubber banded together. Packages of tubing. Well, it's weird. It's like they're stuck together somehow. Oh, I got a rubber band on them. That's why they're stuck together. Yeah, so different types, different sizes of tubing and stuff for doing some scratch work and everything. And then down below it says supplies, and guess what? Supplies! There's just extra stuff in here. So, yeah. Oh, these things, I got these a little while ago. Mrs. BG found them on Amazon. And it's nail art, but because it's checkerboard, I thought this would be awesome if we ever want to do seat inserts, or maybe do the firewall of a gasser or something like that. So they're all different sizes and everything like that. You have to cut them. You have to cut them square because, of course, they're nail shaped, whatever. But no big deal. And they even come with. I'm just going to change lenses once again. They even come with a little filing stick in there, and then you see this little wooden dowel. There's a little wooden dowel in there that comes to a point on one side and has a bevel at the other for helping you mash everything around your fingernails. Those are very handy when it comes to decaling and stuff like that too. So yeah, more supplies there. And then down below here we have our circle cutting thing, some resin pieces, some wheels and resin pieces, Pegasus wheels, Z-Man wheels, our ProTech stuff, a box of springs. Did you know you could just go to Home Depot and for a couple dollars just buy a box of random springs? I did not know that. Okay, so in-room kit storage. Basically the entire stash is here in this room. And we've gone over this before in the past a few times, but I'll be happy to do that once again. So what we have is a couple of rolling carts that we got from a good friend of ours that was moving. It's really awesome. They're on wheels. I can move them around the room. I can get behind there to clean if I want to. If something falls behind there, it's no problem to get to it. And up at the very top, we have our, will this work better like that? There we go. We have our larger AMT stuff, so our fire trucks, our dump trucks, our cement mixers up there too. And then along with our, well, we have a large scale, well, not large scale, but we have one of those diesel tow trucks that we got from a good friend, Big Eddie. Thank you very much, Big Eddie, for that. And then down below, we have our Revell Germany boxes. Basically, a lot of these kits are the same kits that you get in the regular American style shoebox, but they're packaged in this way, and this is the best way to probably do them, is in that style, that style of shelving. And then down below we have our Bandai stuff. So we have our Millennium Falcon Perfect Grade, and one day I'll get to that. And my personal rule of thumb is the three things that we grab if there's ever an emergency and we have to get out of the house is Linda, photo albums, and the Millennium Falcon. That guy right there. I should have him at the top of the stack, make life a little easier. We got some Fujimi kits stacked up and kind of tucked back around the corner there, and down below we have Monogram stuff. And then that changes into, you can just see the bare sliver of it, but we have a collection of Batmobiles there. And then our collection of DeLoreans from Back to the Future, the franchise. And then down below we have a little bit more sci-fi stuff. Some Lindbergh kits. I do have a couple of Johan kits, but they're actually buried back in there because we know that we're not going to get to them anytime soon. So they got relegated to the back there. And we got a couple of sci-fi things here from the Chariot and the Thunderbird 2. We showed those on videos recently. But down below are model kits from my nephews. So the 1960 hardtop, the Bel Air 409, those belong to my nephew Dex. And then Jacob has that Mustang right there, and he's also working on this Tamiya Celica. and he's doing a bang-up job on it. I'm hoping that when he gets it done, he'll be willing to do a video with us on that. And then over on this rack, we have, down here at the bottom, we have an MPC, the General Locomotive Kit. I am itching to get to that because I think that'll look good on the fireplace mantle. And then we have a 1/48 scale B17. That's saved for a buddy build later on next year with a good friend, Papa Dan. And then as we pan up slowly, over here on the left side, we have Italeri or Italeri, depending on where you are in the world. And then we have some Gonsenyo, some Heller kits, a couple of Meng kits. And then up here we have a kind of a hodgepodge. Got some Pyro, Airfix, got some more Gonsenyo, an Academy kit. And then some Revell and Italeri planes and helicopters. And then over here on the very far right, we have the Oshima, or Aoshima, depending on how you like to say that. And then on the next shelf up, this is a very sad day when I have to say that I have too many Tamiya kits. I actually have them stacked in the back, and then these guys up front. And I have to put this guy here in front because I've run out of space. So I think that's telling me I need to start building some more of these. So we're going to look into that here soon. I even have them stacked on edge on the side. And then going up the next level, oops, keep the hands out of the way there. I got some Revell stuff here, pickup trucks, vans, 4x4s, excuse me. And then we have to double stack these too because we're running out of room. So then we have a whole stack of more recent acquisitions that we got here. And then there's our Mopar stuff buried back in there. I apologize for the glare. And then over here, we have our Hasegawa kits. Awesome kits. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I love that Jag box art. That is just killer. And then up above that is more Revell stuff. More domestic Revell stuff, except for the Ferrari and Jags. And then, gosh, that glare is just terrible. That's better. That doesn't help at all. Okay. Okay, here we go. That's better. So yeah, just a whole bunch more Revell stuff down there. And this is double stacked also. Yeah, we're running out of space. So up above is our shoebox style AMT vehicles. All the standard box styles up there. And there are a couple of double stacked boxes up there too. So there's that. And then we come down to this area, which is our our in-room painting area. I have to get a frame for that. My goodness, I'm a bad person. But we had sold off a lot of model kits at the beginning of this year, and I had enough money saved up and everything like that. I could go ahead and get myself a nice little portable spray booth deal for here in the room. And then I repurposed this cart. This was my own personal tool cart from back in the day. I repurposed that as the actual painting shelf for this guy here. So it's on wheels also, so I can move it around and rearrange the room if I need to, but it obviously has to live near the window. And then everything that we see, all the drawers we see in here is usually accoutrement for airbrushing and such like that. Down in here we have our handy dandy cordless, wireless airbrush. He's always ready to go. Oh yeah, and then a bin of painted spoons with color codes and stuff on them, so we know how we painted them. So if we ever want to redo something or to remember how to do something, we have a reference to it. And originally, when this house was built back in the 1970, this particular room here was the laundry room. So we have fun little features in the wall like this built-in ironing board. I took the door off and everything. The ironing board guts are long since gone. I think Linda's dad took that out when they were living here with her and ripped that out and then put in these shelves. And they're not level, but I can live with it. I saved the door because the door is really nice and everything. I have that tucked away. But I left the hinges on the wall. But it's turned into a really handy little shelf for displaying little things here and there, like my superhero collection. My original Kenner Star Wars figures collection. Let's do the right lens there, Brian. There we go. So I got the basics covered there. And then there's a couple of fun Lego kits up here. And then some G.I. Joe stuff. This is the 25th anniversary stuff. It's carded and hanging on the wall. A lot of that's a gift from my brother Jeff. But yeah, the funny feature about this room also is that the outlets are all about 3 feet off the ground, maybe 4 feet off the ground. So that's kind of interesting. Oh, and we have a super large closet also, which we have all of our skeletons in. And then our Tamiya rack, all of our Tamiya paints. And here's a little tip for you. This is what I like to do. When you run out of paint, save the cap. Especially if you have a setup like this where you have things lined up, whatever. Save the cap, especially if it's a color that you use quite a bit. I like to use this titanium gold quite often for carburetors and whatever. But I just keep the cap and I leave it there in its space so that when I'm walking out the door heading to the hobby shop, I'm like, yep, okay, cool. I need some TS87 and I need some TS12 up there. Okay, cool. All the other colors and stuff usually, you know, they're in flux and everything, but the basics that I usually have are usually TS42, light gunmetal, TS30, silver, TS17, aluminum, and then a whole myriad of blues. German gray, that's a staple of mine also, and then of course the ever needed matte black, and then just regular black. Those are the best ones to start with when you're starting with spray cans. If you have trouble painting gloss black, rattle can gloss black, grab a can of the TS14. That was the very first rattle can that I bought from Tamiya, the Tamiya line of paints, and used it and realized, oh my god, this stuff is awesome. It came out flawless first time I used it. I haven't had an issue with it since, and as you can see, I'm pretty much a fan. And then over here on this side of the room, have our art box up here now. So when I want to do some drawing, I have to work on the Brian Lindy comic. I'll close all this stuff up and put it away, and then the art box goes up here. It opens up pretty cool, like this. Make sure I missed that. There we go. And this flips down, and then I have drawers of color pencils and stuff in there and everything. So when I want to art, I have the box available to put right here. Got something sticking out of that. And then here is the shelf of Limbo, the Limbo shelf. I'm working on this Eagle right now. You saw pieces of it over there on the desk. The Subaru, we finally got the paint polish out on that, and we're hoping to black out around the windows and stuff. I just need to do the masking. And then NASCAR and the Cadillac from Foose. I need some inspiration to finish those off there. And then up above that is the robot shelf, along with the Meng tank and the egg plates. But this is slowly becoming the robot shelf. And then, speaking of shelves, we have over the workspace, we have some IKEA floating shelves. They look nice. They're held on the wall with these metal cleats, right? And you can see there's a number of holes here, so you can find studs. You don't have to shift stuff around or drill holes, whatever, and put in those mollies and everything. You can find studs. It's pretty useful that way. The problem is that this tab doesn't stick out very far, just an inch, and it doesn't give a lot of support. So these shelves here don't have a lot on them, just some paraphernalia that I've collected over the time, like some skeletons from Rick's Inc. and the AMT bobblehead cat, stuff like that. And then up above that is the MPC shelf, and then above that is the Starship shelf from Star Trek. And then over here is just kind of like a catch-all thing right now. And then above that is the nostalgia shelf. This is one of the most important shelves in the entire hobby room. If all the other kits were to go away, these would be the ones that would stay, because these are the ones that I had attempted to build when I was much younger and failed at, and now I want to do the kit justice. These are the kits that I just couldn't forget as I got older. So I have them tucked away up here, and I'm hoping to actually get to some of them soon and build them as I had intended to. Definitely not as they came out. So these shelves are nice, they look good and everything, but they don't hold a lot of weight. So that's why we had to get these rolling cart things off our friend. So that's basically the room. I do have a spray booth out in the garage, and that's a whole other video. So We'll get to that some other time. But again, Mr. Brian, thank you very much for offering up this challenge for us to respond to. I can't wait to see what everybody else has going on in their shops. I just watched Onyx Fierro, how he had his shop set up, and it was pretty elaborate. So looks like he's got a whole basement to himself. And here in our area, we just have a room kind of tucked away out of the house, just sort of evolved into this space. All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in again. If you made it this long, go have yourself a cookie. I'm going to have me a chocolate chip. And we'll talk to y'all a little bit later. Bye now.